Hello guys, and welcome back to another lesson. This is John from Speak English with John. It is no wonder that əd̆vɑɪs and advise are often confused in English. They are used in similar context and are separated by just one tiny little letter. Yes, one tiny little c or little s that distinguishes them. And here's a lesson to help you with the rules and usage when using əd̆vɑɪs or advise in English. Stick around till the end of this lesson and don't forget to hit that like button below. We are starting right now. Let's start with əd̆vɑɪs. Advice is a noun and means a suggestion, an opinion, or a recommendation about what someone should do. So it is a guide to action. You should remember that when using the noun advice, it is uncountable. There are a few mistakes most English learners make when using the noun advice. Let's see that in the examples below. Let me give you some advice. Stay away from Tom. Don't say, let me give you an advice. Like we said earlier, advice is uncountable, so don't say an advice, right? She gave him a lot of advice, but I don't think he listened. Don't say she gave him a lot of advices. Like we said earlier again, advice is uncountable, so do not say an advice or advices, because that would mean we can count advice, right? So advice is uncountable, and it is a noun. It is used to mean a suggestion, an opinion, or a recommendation about what someone should do. It is a guide to action, right? And it is uncountable. If we want to use the noun advice in a countable way in English, then we use the phrase a piece of advice. So to say, one piece of advice will mean one advice, and two pieces of advice will mean two advice, and so on. Here's an example. I have two pieces of advice for you about the holiday. From this example, we are simply using the noun advice in a countable way by using the phrase a piece of advice or two pieces of advice, three pieces of advice, in order to mean a suggestion, an opinion, or a recommendation about what someone should do. It is a guide to action. Remember, advice is uncountable, but if you must use it in a countable way, then you need the phrase a piece or two pieces or three pieces of advice in English. We use the verb advise to mean to give someone advice, to offer an opinion or a suggestion as what following. So it is the process of giving advice, right? Here are some examples. I strongly advise you to lose weight. They finally did what we advised. From these examples, we can clearly see that we are simply using the verb advise to mean to give someone advice, to offer an opinion or suggestion as what following. Don't forget, advise is a verb. It is a process of giving advice. I strongly advise you to lose weight, right? And here's a tip. The ICE ending of advise is pronounced like eyes, advise, while the ISE ending of advise is pronounced like eyes, just like in realize. If you have trouble remembering the difference between the two, it might help to keep in mind that advice is always a noun and advice is always a verb. If you give a friend advice, you are giving her a piece of advice, right? I hope you found some value and learned something. If you did, I'm happy. I advise you hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss out on my weekly interactive English lessons, just like this one, to help boost your fluency, confidence, and speaking skills. Let's keep in touch.